The US News Top 25 Law School rankings are out. Technically, they're not supposed to be coming out until next week, but they leaked earlier today, and so I'm bringing them to you now. I'm always somewhat torn about even talking about the rankings because they're of somewhat questionable value to you as a pre-law applicant. I don't want you placing undue importance on them, but of course I know that many of you are going to place undue importance on them regardless, and it is worth considering them as a factor in where you decide to go to law school, not as the factor, not as even a major factor, but as one factor among many, many other factors to consider. US News, of course, is in the business of selling magazines, now in the business of selling clicks on their websites, and so of course they're always making minor adjustments to the formula that determines the rankings to lead to some changes from year to year to create changes in the rankings, because if they didn't change at all, if they were static, then of course what would be the point in even talking about them? But all that being said, I know you're curious about what their rankings are for this year, so without further ado, let me run down the list. We've got Stanford and Yale still tied for number 1. We have UChicago at number 3, Duke, Harvard, Penn, and Virginia all tied for number 4. Notably, Virginia rose 4 spots in the rankings up to number 4 from last year. We have Columbia at number 8, NYU and Northwestern and Michigan all at number 9. Notably, NYU Law dropped 4 spots this year from the previous year, so NYU Law is a big loser in the rankings this year. University of Virginia is a big winner in the rankings for this year among the top 14. We then have Berkeley at number 12, UCLA at number 13, Cornell and Georgetown tied for number 14, Minnesota, UT Austin, and WashU in St. Louis all tied for number 16. Notably, WashU rose 4 spots in the rankings over last year. We have Vanderbilt at number 19, which dropped 3 spots from last year. We have University of Georgia, UNC Chapel Hill, Notre Dame, and USC all tied for number 20. Notably, Notre Dame rose 7 spots from last year, and USC dropped 4 spots from last year. We then have Boston University at number 24 and Wake Forest University at number 25. So there isn't a ton of changing in the methodology. Apparently, we're not seeing major swings of 10 spots, 15 spots, or 20 spots as we saw last year. But of course, this is just the top 25 law schools. It's possible that there will be bigger changes in the schools ranked below 25. Only time will tell. Hopefully we'll learn more when their official full rankings come out next week. And it's even possible that there will be changes from this list of 25 that I share with you here from this week's preliminary leaked rankings versus the official rankings coming out next week, presumably. Because the thing is, US News releases preliminary rankings to individual law schools, letting them know, here's where you stand in our preliminary or draft rankings. What do you think? And so then at that point, schools will typically come back to US News, and if they're unhappy about the rankings, where they're going to be standing, they might question the data that US News have used, and then there might be some changes in the rankings from the preliminary draft list to the final list. Last year, we saw major changes in the preliminary draft rankings versus what actually came out in the official rankings later, a couple of weeks later. And so the same may happen this year, only time will tell. So what I've shared with you just now is the preliminary list. It is subject to change, but this is the leaked list that came out based on what US News shared with the individual law schools among the top 25. As I said, of course, it's not just about the rankings in terms of where you choose to go to law school. You also want to consider the region in which you plan to practice law. You want to consider law school scholarship offers that you're getting so that you can minimize the debt you're taking on and maximize the employment outcomes that you can pursue upon graduating from law school. And of course, for you as a law school applicant, the biggest factor you can impact in order to maximize your odds of getting in, as well as maximize your odds of getting significant scholarship money, is going to be your LSAT score. So if you are still planning to take the LSAT either in April or June or August or beyond, there's still plenty of time for you to maximize your LSAT score to get the highest score possible and still apply to law school at the beginning of the cycle in the fall. And so, of course, we've only got about 1 week until the April LSAT. If you're feeling like you might not be ready in time, there is no downside to pushing it back and taking it in June instead. That gives you another 2 full months to study for the LSAT, and you can still take it with the logic games section. However, if logic games just isn't your thing, or you feel that you need even more than 2 months, of course, you could take the August LSAT instead. August LSAT scores come out at the end of August, and you can still apply at the very beginning of the cycle in the fall either way, and you'll be able to take it without the logic games section. Instead, you'll have a second score logical reasoning section, and law schools will not care which version of the LSAT you took. Now, if you're taking the LSAT in June or August or beyond, and you'd like my help in getting the highest LSAT score possible, there are a variety of ways I can support you. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.